conversation and then we start rolling.
Let it go. Yeah, I agree. Let's go. Well, good morning. What's happening, brother?
What's up, my man?
Doing well, man. We're going to try this this new podcast thing that I hear it's kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal.
Podcast. Never heard about it. So this is our first attempt here. We have no idea what we're going to talk about. We don't have a name.
Wait, speak for yourself, dude. We know exactly what we're going to talk about.
We don't have a name picked out yet. We've
I thought we were going to do loans and laughter.
loans and laughter.
Kind of lame. Whatever. Who are we and what are we going to talk about?
We'll figure it out.
Oh, money. It was money.
Money and laughter.
Money and laughter.
Money and laughter. What do you guys think? Money and laughter? Money and laughter.
Ask the audience.
Ask the audience. Money and laughter. Like
Sorry,
if we were
right
live.
now we have 0 audience people watching. We're not really live. We're just recording. So,
What do you mean? We got a live audience. I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't know if we can continue to switch between the cameras. This is going to be interesting as we learn.
it's all right. We'll figure it out, man. It's a learning process. We're doing the best we can.
So who is Juan Babani? Who is Alex Pinacho? Why are we doing this? Why are we working on this partnership and this life and this business that we have going on? And I don't know, what's it all about?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I mean, who are we, right? So I guess we're former bankers, both of us, down here in South Florida. I'll let you talk about yourself. But I've been doing this for about, 28, 29 years now. 2020, left banking and entered left corporate America and entered the mortgage industry, brokerage industry. Thanks to you, actually, right? I mean, thanks to you, actually. Yeah, you told me I should get my mortgage license. I'm like, you're nuts. But it worked out well. We worked at different mortgage companies, right? And there were things we liked, things we didn't like, and we ended up coming to Cornerstone.
Yeah.
What are your
how long
have you been with Cornerstone now? So it's a year for you.
So it's a year for me. It's a year for me being here in Cornerstone. 20, God, I stopped counting after 20, but 20 plus years in the financial industry. 17 years in banking. I do remember that number. And then I guess we could do some simple math here.
17 years in banking.
17
so
years in banking. 2003.
That's not 17 years.
17 years in banking and then 5 years on the individual side. Yeah. I'm the math guy here,
Yeah,
clearly.
You want a calculator to figure that out?
So 17 years banking, almost 6 years now on the independent side. And it's just, I mean, I think one of the biggest things coming into, the mortgage side and I don't know if it was the same for you, but just being able to leave the expectations of what a company said, how we had to do, or what, the product of the day was, right? Are we opening a checking account? Are we doing 100 checking accounts this month or whatever? And into truly what we always wanted to do, which was advise people, talk about lending, and just be able to really help people constantly in something they need help with versus what somebody else thought they needed help with, right?
So provide a solution, right? So solution provider, I guess.
100%.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, my phone rings all the time. I'm still getting calls from my bank clients. How about you? I mean, my phone rings constantly, and it's bank clients.
It's interesting. Whenever I do see a bank client calling me, it's kind of like, it kind of takes me back, and I forget. I used to be a business banker. I used to help a lot of business clients. So you kind of become an advisor over the years, and a lot of people, are trying to figure out how to get out of whatever they're doing and go into something different. And they think they can't do it. They can't be successful. But I think you kind of forget that throughout your years, whatever you're doing, I mean, I don't care if you're a painter, right? Like you're painting houses, you're building relationships. And I think that's...
Oh, when you said painter, I thought you meant like artist.
No, like a house painter. I don't know what's the title for that. But yeah, like a painter. So you're building relationships over the years, and you have a big book of business that you don't realize. And it's very easy to, maybe not easy, but you're transitioning to something different, and people don't realize how powerful those relationships are. So I know it's helped.
So how does it feel to be out of corporate America? That's a real question everybody wants to know. Corporate America.
I mean, I'm a huge advocate for it, right? I mean, I wouldn't say I'm the main reason Babani left corporate America, but
he's not the main reason I left corporate America. Let's just get that out of the way.
but it was definitely, I think obviously we've both had an influence on each other's lives in many different aspects. And I think, just being able, I tell people all the time, like, just look for what you are great at. And it doesn't necessarily just mean, can you sell a loan or what are you good at? You're good at helping people. You're good at advising. You're good at just being just a good listener and being able to help.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I think that was well said. As far as what we're going to do, right? What are we doing? What are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? And I think at the end of the day, we just want to help as many people as possible, whether we're providing unsolicited advice, which he's extremely proficient at.
That's what we almost named the podcast.
I still think we should name the podcast.
I think that's a great podcast. Unsolicited advice. I mean, that definitely works for me.
It's definitely not the only podcast named that because, a lot of folks that's what we do, right? Because I think as men, right, let's just be honest. Every time someone has something or comes to us with, immediately we want to help, right, or provide a solution or give unsolicited advice. Right?
Yeah, we're problem solvers, right? We tend to think about.
Yeah, but what about the person that
how do we cut through the bullshit and just resolve this and move on to the next thing versus.
But a lot of times people just want to tell you their problems, right? They aren't looking for a solution. So what do you do then? I mean, what then?
I guess do what you do with your wife and just sit down and listen, hopefully.
Do what I do with my wife 2 kids later. Anyway, I love her. So let's talk about how we help people, right? How we help people. And look, in banking, I was a coach. I coach, trained, developed talent and salespeople, and it was very gratifying. I think now we're providing capital, right? Everybody needs money. Whether you want to buy a house, a second home, whether you want to invest in real estate, whether you need a line of credit for your business, whether you want to buy a commercial real estate property, right? These individuals are good at what they do.
Right.
I'll give you, I once worked at a bank called First Citizens Bank, and I was focused a lot on working with dentists. And if you're a dentist, you're good at that. That's your job. That's what you do, right? When it comes time to borrowing money, you need an expert, right? You need someone that can help you and guide you. And buying homes in today's market, it's very challenging, especially here in South Florida where we're at.
Right.
It's not easy. There's a lot of competition. Prices are what the prices are. The rates are what the rates are. And now how do you guide someone? And we have a ton of examples. And I think we should, obviously without naming names, talk about those examples. Let the audience know, listen, this is what we did for this particular person. It might resonate with someone.
Yeah.
And they might say, hey, you know what? That's me. Well, if that's you, now you have experts. I don't know if we're experts. I take that back.
We're experts.
Now you have experts, right? People who do this for a living that can help you and guide you, right? And we're not selling anything, right?
No, I mean, I think about when I was a business banker, and we used to talk to our clients all the time, and we weren't only selling checking accounts or whatever, all that other BS, but we really always advise our clients like, hey, if you have an import-export business, you're great at what you do. Do you really have time to be managing your own books? Do you really have time to be preparing your own taxes every single year? So we always partnered up with bookkeepers. We partnered up with CPAs. We partnered up with business attorneys, right? Just to make sure that our clients were able to focus their, business and their expertise on what they did and what made them money versus just, spending, time that they could be making hundreds of dollars an hour on something they could pay somebody to pay, do it for $40, $50 an hour. So I think what we do today is really, we do a lot of non-QM business. We obviously do FHA, conventional, all that good stuff, but we do a lot of non-QM business.
Okay, let's take it a step back. We can't just say we do a lot of non-QM business. Well, we don't know what non-QM is.
Sure.
So how about we do this? How about we transition? Is there one of those buttons you can hit for a transition?
I don't know. We'll find one.
Figure it out. Hit something. Whatever. Here we go, guys.
Yeah, sure.
Live.
There you go. That works. I have no idea what that is.
Stop that now.
All right.
We go. So let's talk about loans, right? Let's talk about what we do, right? We lend money, right?
Lend money.
So let me ask you a question.
More specifically, what do we lend money? What is the primary thing we lend money for?
Well, it depends, right? We lend money on residential, commercial, real estate, and commercial real
Right.
estate.
So our lending is primarily focused on, or primarily backed by real estate.
That's correct. We're not going to be able to assist you with a car loan or a credit card or anything like that. However, I will tell you, I do have banks that in the South Florida market that do specialize in those consumer products, right? So if you feel that you don't have the expertise or where to go to get a loan, we'll figure it out. That's why it's called money, or I don't know what he did there.
I don't know what I did there.
But I wish that's why we need microphones.
We need headphones.
We need headphones. We have microphones. We need headphones. This is all new to us. So in any event, so you mentioned non-QM, and I think that's awesome because I'm a non-QM specialist, right? That's 80% of my business. Non-QM, what does QM stand for?
So I would say, QM is qualified mortgages, right? So when you think of a qualified mortgage, you're thinking of your traditional mortgages, right? FHA loans, VA loans, conventional loans, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. When you're talking about non-QM, and I'm actually not going to talk about, I'm not going to name the products.
Absolutely not. But you've already dropped Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. You're just confusing our audience.
Right. So I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you what they do and what problem they solve, because the name of the product doesn't mean anything. But
of course not, right? But it's good to let the folks know what we do.
So I mean, I think we help a lot of business owners that their tax returns don't necessarily show what they actually make.
What Alex means is they have sophisticated tax returns.
Sophisticated tax returns, fantastic CPAs.
Right, because what's the purpose of the CPA, right? So your CPA, they're limiting your tax liability, and that's fantastic. That's what you hired that person for, right? So let them limit your tax liability. We need to find qualifying income, right? That's where these alternative products come from.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think the biggest thing out there is, well, I can't buy a home because my tax returns show that I don't make any money, right?
That's not true. You don't need tax returns to buy a home.
Right. It's definitely not true, right? We have so many options. Without getting into naming products, we have so many options for self-employed individuals. We have a lot of options for real estate investors. And, you might be out there thinking, well, my tax return looks great. I don't need these products. I'll share one story. I have a good friend of mine and a client that has great tax returns, but is invested in over 15 to 20 different businesses. And, when we started working on the loan for him at one point, it got to a point where we were 2 weeks in and still asking for more tax returns and more profit and loss statements and more year-to-date analysis and all this other type of stuff. And it ended up being where the client just said, you know what, like there has to be an easier way. And there was. And yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but at the end of the day, it was worth it because it saved tons of stress and tons of time. And we were able to actually do this loan for him. So I think it's, we see a lot of, loans where we're doing bank statement loans for self-employed individuals. That's a very, very big thing we do. Investor loans. So there's a term called DSCR loans, debt service coverage ratio. I'll let you tackle that one, but I think that's
I'm definitely not going to tackle that one after the great job you did with non-QM.
Nah.
That's another segment. But we will. But I guess what's important is that if you learn something, and if you want to follow us, and if you feel that this is something that you need more knowledge, I think as we grow and as we develop this, there's no reason why we can't talk a whole segment on bank statement loans, because there's a lot. Non-QM loans. Fannie and Freddie, you mentioned it. Well, what's an FHA? What's VA? There's a ton of stuff, and there's a lot of bank jargon out there that you listen to. And if you Instagram and all these reels and everyone's talking, assuming that the consumer, right, whoever's listening, knows and understands what they're talking about. So we want to build, and we want this to be a resource for you where you can go back, listen, rewatch these segments, really learn, and you become an expert. So you're better informed to go out there and acquire real estate assets, whether it's residential or commercial. We want this to be a place that becomes a resource for you. So yeah, we're going to drop a lot of names, and things aren't going to make sense right now. But the more as we grow, right? As we grow and as we take this to another level, and we start focusing on honing in on these segments, right? What are we talking about? Who are we interviewing? Who's coming in? Because the intention is to bring partners in.
Right.
Right.
Bring partners in. We want to educate. I mean, I think Bomani at one point in my career was my boss, and you know, more than just hold on, stop, don't start switching.
Oh, you got to get me
More-
out of this.
more
I
than
can't
just-
have control of this.
More than just being my boss, he was a great mentor and a great coach. And I think that when I look at my career in banking, I also think about, I feel like I mentored a lot of people, and I feel like I had a positive impact on a lot of people. And sure, there was probably some people that hated me, but I think overall I left a positive impact. And I think that's one of the biggest things we want to accomplish here is just to show people a little bit about who we are, what has made us, what has brought us to where we are today. You know, some people may look at us and say we're successful. Other people may look at us and say we have a long way to go, and they're right in both aspects. But I think we can provide a lot of value and hopefully some education and again, the continued partnerships with other individuals that are going to come in and talk about the real estate market, you know, real estate law, insurance, inspections. Just,
Realtors, what do they do?
Right.
What's their role? What if they're on the buyer side, on the seller side?
Yeah.
What if I need a commercial property? Who do I go to?
who do I go to?
What's
right?
a working line of credit? What's a working capital line of credit? What is that?
There's a lot of potential. And I mean, when we started this podcast and we started talking about it, you know, we were getting asked questions such as, what's the name going to be? What are the main topics going to look like? What are you going to discuss? And, you know, one of the things that we just both looked at each other were, we know how we are, and we know that we just want to help. We just want to help people learn. We just want to educate. We just want to mentor. I've seen this guy pick up the phone and just help somebody in need and just take 15, 20 minutes out of his day and just help somebody that had nothing to do with lending, nothing to do with banking or anything else, but just, you know, be a great person. And I think we can hopefully put that on camera and let that translate into who we are. And, you know, if we can help somebody, you know, if we can help one person have a better day today, we can help 100 people. At the end of the day, that's ultimately, I think, a great goal. So it's not going to be about products. It's not going to be about recruiting. It's not going to be specifically about lending. It's not going to be specific to anything. It's going to be a lot of mumbo jumbo, if you bear with us, and
A lot of male banter.
a lot of male banter. And we're going to talk about how great his hair is, and what a good-looking human being and what a fantastic personality I have.
Wow. First episode, we're going to just full of lies. All right.
We got to keep it
Take
humble.
that approach, whatever you
Got to
want.
keep it humble, right? So, dude,
Yes, sir.
I've been wanting to get this out there for a long time.
Yep.
What makes you who you are today?
Wow.
That's a loaded question, right? But you have a story to tell. And I don't know if you want to get into the story today, or
I
you
don't
want
think I'm
to.
ready to talk about the story, but
You have a story to tell, and you got to get your story out there because I think it'll impact a lot of people. But let's just start with the basic, right? So I'm driving into work. I'm having a shitty day. You come in and you're like, hey, how's your day going? And I'm like, well, it's a shitty day. Some asshole just cut me off in traffic.
oh, here we go.
And, you know, life sucks.
Oh,
And,
pisses me off.
yeah.
Yeah, I get miserable.
What's your response to that?
Yeah, that annoys me, man. That annoys me. Listen, the truth is, and I know where you're going. You want to hear about the ABCs.
No,
I'm almost
not
positive.
We don't have to
but
start there.
But we won't. But we'll get there. I mean, once you guys get. Listen, the truth of the matter is that you dictate your day, right? You dictate your day. You mentioned you just mentioned driving into work and someone cut you off or whatever the case may be. But
That's not a true story, but just an example.
no, actually, that's a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get into
I
it.
know it is, but
Yeah.
but not in today. Not for me, and not today is what I mean.
Oh
But
yeah, I got you. I hear you. No, but listen, the truth is, I'm a coach. I'm a motivator. I'm a positive individual. That's what you're gonna get. You will rarely see me upset. And yeah, I have issues at home, and we have issues at work, and we have 100%. But you're never gonna see that side of me.
Yeah.
Because that's not for you unless you're directly involved, right?
Right.
So you're gonna get a good attitude. You're gonna get coaching. You're gonna get motivating. You're gonna get positive feedback and reinforcement consistently. That's what you're going to get out of me.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest things that has strengthened this partnership and has initiated this partnership over time was a lot of the same mindset. You know, when you surround yourself with people that want to be positive and that choose to be positive and that choose to just have a great day, you start picking up on it, right? And I've been around this guy where people would say, you know, how are you doing today? And his normal response is
fantastic, freaking fantastic.
Fantastic, or in Spanish, Mejor imposible.
Mejor imposible. Yep.
And, I remember when I first started, working with you, I thought it was an act. I was like, this guy,
Along with everyone else.
nobody could be positive all the time. But what ends up happening is it starts rubbing off on you. And I'd rather be around 10 of this guy where positive stuff is rubbing off than be around the people that, So I always say when you're having a bad day, right, and you pick up the phone, you probably have a friend that you're going to call that's going to say, hey, it's not that bad. It's not the end of the world. It's a great day. Let's be positive. Let's move on. And you're going to have the friend that you're going to call and that's going to commiserate with you and be like, oh, life is horrible. And before you even make that call, you decide what kind of day you want to have. You decide if you want your day to get better or your day to get worse. And that decision is as simple as calling one person versus the other. So I think that's something that I've learned over time as well, where I know I can't call this guy and say life is horrible because it's a gray, rainy day outside and traffic sucks. If I'm going to make that phone call and, I want somebody to tell me, yeah, life sucks, he's not the guy to call because he's going to be like, what are you talking about? You have a beautiful wife at home. You have 3 beautiful kids. You're awake. You're alive.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You're
absolutely correct. And
So-
I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking the moment and saying that. I didn't know that's where we were going to go, but that's how things happen, right? This is what we're going to talk about. This is who we are. You're going to meet us. We're going to be transparent. We're going to be honest. And we're going to give you a lot of unsolicited advice. But we're going to just be truth tellers, right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk to you exactly what it is. If you have a wonderful idea and you're interested in starting a business and you don't know how to do it, we'll help you. That's what we're here for. We've helped hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands we talk about PPPs, thousands and thousands of people with acquiring capital, providing access to capital. That's what we do. We're going to talk about money and how you can get your hands on money, whether you want to buy a personal residence, an investment property, a commercial property, a line of credit, whatever it is. And we're going to be transparent and we're going to be honest. And we're going to give you, I guess, behind the scenes, right? Because we spent 20 plus years in banking and now we're outside of corporate America and we see that there's alternative products out there. You don't always have to go to the bank to borrow the money.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great day, a great way to start. I think, we'll keep practicing. We'll keep getting better. We'll keep
Hopefully.
I don't know, for sure, right? If you do something over and over again, you practice, you're going to get better.
Yeah.
I'm going to not lie to you like Alex did about his good looks and charming personality, but it is what it is, right? So, we're happy you're here. We'll see how this turns out. It's our first episode. We're going to try to keep it short and to the point, and we'll see where this takes us.
God knows we can go off on a tangent and be recording for probably like 3 hours.
Well, that's for sure. I'm
Compete
already
with Joe
getting a
Rogan
blinking light on the camera here. So, and anyway, with that, we'll let you guys go, and we'll see you guys soon. Tune in
On the next one.
See ya.